Millions of Americans are out of work, and many are also out of emergency cash. So some are tapping their retirement benefits to fill the financial gap. And CNBC's personal finance correspondent, Sharon Epperson, joins us now with more on that. Good morning to you, Sharon.
Good morning, Andrew. Even more Americans can now cash out of their retirement savings account. The IRS on Friday issued new guidelines about who is eligible to take a $100,000 coronavirus-related distribution from their IRA or 401k this year. Now, initially, those who were eligible included people who had the disease or their spouse or their dependent who had it, workers who were laid off, furloughed, or had their hours reduced, those who were unable to work due to a lack of child care, and entrepreneurs who had to close their small business. But now, under the new guidelines, people who had the start date of a new job delayed or who had a job offer rescinded due to COVID-19 can also take a withdrawal. And another important clarification now allows the spouse of an individual who's facing adverse financial consequences due to COVID-19 to be eligible to take a withdrawal for up to $100,000 from his or her retirement account. Under the CARES Act, retirement savers can take up to this six-figure sum without incurring a 10% early withdrawal penalty if they're under the age of 59 and a half. Now, financial advisors still say this should be a last resort. But Fidelity, the nation's largest 401k provider, found that more than 540,000 participants, about 2% of all participants in Workforce Savings Plan, took their money out of that plan in April and May under these CARES Act provisions. And the average distribution was about $13,000. So now for some people who are struggling, this may be the only way for them to make up for lost income. Andrew, back to you.
Sharon, before you go, even though it's a last resort, is there really any time it makes sense to take a 401k withdrawal?
Well, some advisors say there is a caveat here. If you have basically no retirement, no emergency savings rather, and this retirement savings is all that you have to cover basic needs, then you may have to tap into this. Also, if you have high interest credit card debt, again, this is taking an interest-free loan, interest-free withdrawal, and you're not going to have to pay the high interest that you would on credit card debt. But you should be calling your creditor and seeing if you can work something out there, because some have been more lenient about giving you a bit of a breather to pay back that money. Right. Another issue is housing. If you haven't worked something out there, then you may have to take this.
But before you go again, though, is it better to take this withdrawal from the 401k plan than trying to take a loan? Can you get a loan collateralized against a 401k plan?
You can take a loan of up to $100,000 out of your 401k under the CARES Act provisions as well, if your employer allows that. But here's what you have to count on: job security. Usually you have 5 years to pay this back, but if you leave your job, even if it's not under your own volition, you're going to have to pay that money back a lot more quickly. So that's something to consider. And in this uncertain environment, many people are opting for that withdrawal instead of taking a loan because they don't know what the job situation is going to be.